In this series, we have lined up 14 of the biggest value creators on Twitter across all niches. We cover topics ranging from ghostwriting to psychedelics and personal brand growth to the science of self-mastery. If you're new here, we don't have any sponsors. My only ask is that you help us spread our message by leaving a review. Our guest today is someone that is en route to building quite the cult following. He's known for being a pineapple on pizza, shitposting ultra Chad, and former roommate of Danko, the founder of Growth Ghosts, a world-leading ghostwriting agency. I'm so stoked that I had this opportunity to hang with Dakota Robertson. Currently, he has combined over 600,000 followers across Twitter and Instagram, and continues to keep growing through his unique personality and perspectives. He has an incredible story, having grown up in extremely challenging environments, with his mother sadly dying from drug addiction. Dakota is an incredible human that I have enjoyed tremendously getting to know over the past few months. This episode is packed with actionable value that you can take away with you and use immediately. I hope you enjoy. Dakota, thank you so much for joining us at the Solopreneur Summit and kicking this off for us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, brother. Stoked to shoot the shit and talk about whatever. But yeah, my name's Dakota. I pretend to be people on the internet and I get paid to do so. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding. So I run a social media ghostwriting agency. I've done this for the past year and a half. And now my main focus is training other people on how to start a social media ghostwriting agency and scale that to whether they want to go 2K a month, 10K a month, or scale up to 50K a month. I can help them do that because I've scaled my own agency to 50K a month. Now I've scaled my personal brand to like 150K a month, around like 100 to 200K a month. But so excited to share whatever lessons, failures, fuck ups, share that with you guys.
Thanks, man. So the reason I'm looking at my phone is that all of my notes are on here. I've got my my Notion up, and I thought, to be honest, like we listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm sure you do, Dakota, and a lot of them can be super boring. So I thought we'd kick it off with something out there with some quick fire questions, so that the fans and your new fans can get to know you a bit better. You cool with that?
Yeah, 100%.
We'll start things off really, really, really nice and simple, by the way. Okay, you're scared. You should be scared. You should
I'm
be
fucking
scared.
ready. I've been prepping.
Could completely cancel you.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, let's hit it off. Okay, first up, blue or red?
Blue.
Hit him with the hard one to start, right?
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Chest or back?
Chest.
Writing or reading?
Reading. Writing's hard.
Tries or buys?
Tries.
Pineapple or mango?
Mango. That's my favorite.
Okay. Quads or hammies?
Quads.
Okay. Beer or whiskey?
Beer.
Cigar or vape?
Cigar.
Red Bull or Monster?
Red Bull.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Monster. I'm surprised. Like, we're going to have to go that.
I'm slowly converting.
Slowly converting. Okay. DMT or ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca. I haven't done DMT. Well, DMT's in ayahuasca, but I've done ayahuasca.
Okay, there you go. See, there was a clip. Here's someone who really doesn't know what he's talking about. Shrooms or weed?
Shrooms. I get really anxious on weed.
Okay, yeah, I'm the same. Lord of the Rings or Black Mirror?
I would say Black Mirror, but their last season was dog shit, so I'm gonna go with Lord of the Rings.
Okay, flicking it back. Okay, this is one of my favorites, and then we're kicking off with the best one. Michael Jackson or Miley Cyrus?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Those are my pronouns.
I promise you that was not planned. That was absolutely not planned. And then finally, this is the question that everyone like within the entrepreneurship space is always thinking about. Danko or Andrew Tate?
Danko. I like Andrew Tate. I like him a lot, but Danko's my homie. and he changed my life.
Okay,
So
he's a homie. But is Andrew
yeah,
Tate a future homie?
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I could definitely see you guys hang out.
Maybe. Yeah. He's very macho. I'm not so like macho man. Sometimes I am, but he's a G. I like him.
He's a G. Okay, well, like we're going to move on to the serious stuff now, but I just wanted to like loosen up there with some fun shit.
Oh, I'm loose.
He's loose now. Okay, let's kick this off with giving. There's going to be a lot of people out there because ghostwriting has taken off in the last year, and though at least from my perspective, it seemingly has. And you've definitely been the spear at the absolute tip of the spear. What do you think if you were to sum up ghostwriting to someone that's like doesn't really understand what it is? How would you explain it or describe it as best you could?
You take over someone's account and you grow it, basically. And the way you grow it is you write posts for them, and that can be in the form of a Twitter thread, tweets, Instagram posts, LinkedIn posts, whatever. And then you pay for distribution. So you can pay for retweets, you can pay for ads, you can pay for Instagram story shares, you can pay for LinkedIn comments. And so when you combine those two elements, the writing and the distribution, you combine those together and you grow the account basically, and people will pay you anywhere between $2,000 to $15,000 a month for you to do that, depending on what your offer is, results, all that stuff.
And so if we go back to the $2,000 versus $15,000 a month, what are the kind of core differences there? Is that purely based down to experience, or is that you are you promising more?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, it comes down to results a lot of the time. So what end result are you getting them? So some people are like, oh, I'll grow your account. Well, it's like, what does that even mean? You can grow 1 follower or 1,000 followers. You got to be specific. So when my first client, I charged $3,000 a month, and I told him I'd grow him by 1,500 followers every 30 days. And I would, I think, give them their money back if I didn't meet that or something. And I charged $3,000 a month for that. And then as I got more experience in social proof, I was able to land clients easier and charge more money because of brand. So you think about like Nike versus a Walmart t-shirt, like plain white t-shirts, Nike can charge a lot more, like 5 times more, because they have a brand opposed to Walmart. So that plays an element into it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like mainly the results. And then do you have experience and proof backing up that you can get those results? And that really makes a difference, because like the main thing that keeps people from spending money is, oh, they're like, oh, this isn't going to work for me, or I won't get the result. So yeah, mainly comes down to results, experience, and then sales skills, offer, all that stuff.
And we share something in common in that we both did quit. We kind of moved away. We transitioned from what would be considered like the traditional life, either the 9 to 5 or whatever you'd like to like describe it as. Can you just give a bit of a background into that transition period for you? So going from, you do look like you're 18, but you also at the same time look like you're 29. So you have this unique ability to look both young and old at the same time, which is quite impressive. But yeah, part of that is how you carry yourself. I think you carry yourself a lot older than you actually are. Can you give a little bit of the background into how you did the transition from what were you doing before and how long it took? Give an idea of what the timeline could be looking like for someone who made the move that you would do.
Yes. So I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was 18. That really sparked the entrepreneur fire in me. So when I was 19, I was working as an electrician in the oil and gas industry. And I was working 84-hour weeks in the freezing cold, 7 days a week. All I did was work and all that stuff. And basically just I bounced around from job to job. because I would get bored or I felt like super miserable at them. And I was like, okay, I got to try something else. But during that whole time, I was reading books on self-improvement, business, all that stuff, trying to like, okay, what's my thing? What can I do? All that. So I've been a server, I've been a security guard, I've been a medic, I've been an electrician, I've been a delivery driver, I've been this and that, all of it. And I did that until the age of 22. And I was fortunate enough to, in 2018, I started investing in crypto. I was throwing all my paychecks from being an electrician into crypto. And so when I was 22 and I was going to college at the time, was second year in college to be a high school English teacher, I stumbled upon Twitter, or I stumbled upon the business side of Twitter because I was keeping up to date with the crypto news, and basically bought a course. Like, screw it, I'm gonna try growing on Twitter. It seems interesting, and yeah. So September 17th of 2020 is when I started like growing on Twitter, started posting on Twitter, and basically within 1 year, the following year in November, that's when I launched my ghostwriting offer, and I scaled to 11K a month within like 28 days of launching that. But like before that, it was like a lot of learning how to write, learning business, hiring mentors, posting on Twitter, all that stuff. So it was kind of like I was like building up all these skills. And then when I launched, it was just like boom, because I built up a small audience and some business skills and learned how to write tweets. So, but yeah, like basically took me 4 years to get indoctrinated into the whole scene and actually like take action on stuff, because I read a lot of books, but I never took action. So it took me like 4 years.
That's kind of interesting to hear you talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because I think it was probably 4 years ago as well. I would have been, I would have been just turned 30. That's when I read that book for the first time. And I grew up in a family where money, business, and all of that was considered. It was the classic, like, money is evil, rich people are evil, wealthy people are evil. And I never really appreciated how much that held me back from trying to understand money, at least. So yeah, I read that. I read it, would have been during COVID when I was 30, and even though I'd read years and years of books, like I said, like the 4 Hour Work Week, I had tried to start my own businesses before. When I transitioned out of being a dentist, I remember inventing like a bunch of tools so that I could try and sell them, try and get myself out that way. But again, it's like, you know, when I transitioned out of being a dentist, I realized I had no core skills. None of all of the skills that you mentioned: sales, and any of the sales and marketing skills, funnel building, landing page building, just any of the marketing skills at all. Didn't have a clue. And I felt like I had spent like 6 years learning this stuff from businesses by putting myself in businesses. And, understanding that I know I'm not unintelligent. I know I'm, from the stuff that I've done in the past, but I felt like I had to learn fucking everything. And it's taken me a good like 5 or 6 years to learn that stuff. How do you think, like, why do you think you've had such a fast, kind of a rapid kind of growth in that respect with understanding all of these core skills?
Definitely hiring people that were smarter than me. Like, that's one common thing I've always done, is whether it's like crypto or business or whatever. Say, I know I'm not the smartest person, so I feel like I got a decent judge of character. So I'll look at people, okay, who are the people that are living the lifestyle that I want, and what are they saying to do? And is there a way I could buy a course? Is there a way I could pay for mentorship and just attain that knowledge? Because you think about, okay, if I have $10,000 and I want to start a business and I spend the whole $10,000 just doing it myself, the amount of time it's going to take me, the amount of effort and failures and screw ups it's going to take me is going to cost like well over $10,000 probably. But if there's someone that has done what I want to do and they charge $5,000 for coaching or something, and I hire them, then I'm going to avoid all that time, probably should save years off the time it takes to do the thing. It's going to save me a lot of headaches. It's going to save me a lot of effort, all this blah, blah, blah. And basically just shortcut. And then if you shortcut by you even a few months, you think about the compounding results of that and the time saved and the money that's going to compound, it's going to be astronomical. And then also the more money you make, I mean, the more you can invest in mentors and coaches and all that, and then keep shortcutting and then keep compounding, and it's just exponential growth. So I owe a lot of my success to the mentors I've hired, and yeah, I'm grateful for them.
Do you mind giving a little bit of detail around that, like who potentially these people were or are, and
Yeah,
how you found them, and what was your decision making process as to why you decided to go with them? I know there are
yeah.
guys like Alex Hormozy who have said they've spent shit tons of money, probably to the point where they might, felt really uncomfortable, but that was what accelerated their growth to take them to another completely different level.
Yeah, 100%. So I bought some crypto shit in the past. I won't go into that, but yeah, first person I like in business I bought mentorship from was Dan Coe, and the reason I bought from him because I really resonated with his content, and he's very relatable. And yeah, so got coaching from him, and I only had like 8 grand in my bank account at the time, and his coaching was like 6 grand or something. I was like, oh shit, like I got to make this work, and it lit a fire under my ass. And I think that's one of the best things about getting a mentor is the accountability and actually making you take action. Because up until that point, I just procrastinated for months and months. Like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. I'll start a business and all that. But it wasn't until I actually invested in myself and my education that I had a fire lit under my ass. Like, oh, I gotta make moves fast, and I had the roadmap laid out. I was like, oh, I just gotta execute. So it just really got rid of a lot of self doubt. I had the accountability and all that. So Dan was my first one, and then David Mendez I got sales training from because I was not confident on sales calls at all. I didn't know what to do. So David Mendez. And then I went into client ascension with like Andre and Cold Email Wizard and all them because I wanted to get better at operations and running my agency and all of that. That's a great program. I'm now a coach in it. And another guy, Richard Yu, that was a recommendation through a friend. Found out he was not being so good with other people, some of my friends. So I just left that program. That was the only coach or person I regret going into, not because of like the program, but just like his character. So that was 18K down the drain.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was lame, but whatever. And then
Oh, dude.
Liam,
Okay. Well, before, because that is an expensive. Not to
yeah.
say that was an expensive lesson, but is there anything you learned from that might prevent you from doing that again, or from someone that might be potentially get themselves in that situation?
Yeah, it was basically I I heard like a little bit about him. Like one of my friends recommended him and he was like close with him, but I didn't find him naturally like through my own way. He was just like connected me to him. Um and I'm glad I did leave because it was kind of like I was in the program and then I found out a friend of mine got his content stolen, like his intellectual property from his actual program stolen from Richard's team, allegedly. I'm not going to say anything, but allegedly. And I found out about that. And then I also found out another friend of mine who went through his program and he was eligible for a refund because like the stuff he was teaching was really basic. And my friend was like very advanced. He was like, okay, just give me a refund. Like he was eligible for it. But they wouldn't grant him a refund. So when I found out that stuff, I was like a month in the program. Like, you know what, like guys, like I'm just not into like what you guys are doing. And I'm just gonna peace out, whatever. They didn't care. They already got my money. So I knew I couldn't get a refund because I signed the contract, but like just morally, it felt like the right thing to do because I don't want to be associated with those people and all of that. And funny enough, a month later, his main account manager is like a bunch of people from his team left him because the word was getting around. He's just like a slimy character. And it's funny, he's actually on Twitter now. I don't know if you've seen the meme, but it's him. He's the guy that posted the porn thread where it talks about how he quit porn, and then he like plugs his like business offer at the end and stuff, and his ghostwriters like copy pasting other people's threads and stuff. It's so funny. Everyone on Twitter is roasting him. But yeah. So I was faced with like this conundrum though, or this option. It's like, okay, I spent 18K on this program and I can continue working with these people and they can like help scale my coaching business. But do I want, like, morally knowing that these people, or him, allegedly stole someone's intellectual property and they're doing these things to my friends? It's like, do I want to associate with that? It's like, can I look myself in the mirror and like, I don't know, have integrity? And it's like, no. So it's kind of lame because I was just like, fuck, I just spent all this money, but I feel good about it because, you know, I don't know, trade my integrity for what I thought was right. So yeah.
I think that's incredible. Like I've always had an issue with people who tread like a moral, like the weak side of their moral boundary. And I remember my first boss when I just finished dental school. So I'd been at university for 7 years, and my first boss, like she asked me to do something just flat out unethical, and I flipped. And this was like 9 months into my first year, and I literally just like snapped my neck, and I was like, "You need to fuck off." And she was like, "You're getting fired, and you're going to lose your license." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I learned the hard way. Don't tell your boss to fuck off. But yeah, I have
Wisdom.
I have a huge amount of respect for you. You know, to make that call and understand that, you know what, it's money ultimately you can get money back. You just cannot buy your integrity back. So I think there's a huge lesson there. Just can I go back to when you first worked with Dan? Like, practically were you pretty fresh at the time? Did you have an idea of where you wanted to go? What did he actually help you with in his coaching?
Yeah, so he helped with audience building and he helped with actually monetizing the audience. So we looked at, okay, what are my skills and how can we monetize it? And at the time I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a copywriter / web designer. But I also had an audience of 4,000 people and I was growing at a decent pace at the time. So I was like, oh shit, like ghostwriting's this new thing. And I mean, I can grow an audience and sounds cool. You know, I'm a ghostwriter. So I was like, oh, I'll try that. So Dan, even though I was growing at the time, he helped like elevate my content creation process and audience building process. And he got me a lot of clarity on different elements of brand building and content. And then he gave me the roadmap of what to do when it came to actually, okay, how do I monetize my skills and actually even become a ghostwriter? So he helped me with, okay, here's how you like structure a landing page. Here's how you like create your offer. Here's what you say on sales calls, all that stuff. It was all built out in Notion. And we'd had like an accountability call every month or something and like DM support. So yeah, it was great. I think the main thing was the confidence though. Like when you have someone in your corner and they're giving you the roadmap of what to do and you don't even got to think about it, you just know, okay, just execute on this. You're not having that self-doubt. You're not having all this imposter syndrome, all that stuff. Is just, you know, you have someone in your corner helping you. And that was huge for me. Because when you're on your own, you got all this information. You're like, oh, do I do this? Do I do that? Oh, blah, blah, blah. And it can be very overwhelming.
Nice, man. I'm going to dig into some of these questions that I have written down now, which is more of the practical, tactical stuff that I know that a lot of guys who are just starting out really are desperate for. Because I see this all the time. People making posts about how they started a few months ago with a few friends or a few people, and they're the only ones left because people just quit. So, but you can you give a little bit of background as to how you coach people now, or how you operate at the moment? And then I've got some questions off the back of that, but like, how do you structure your business at the moment?
Yeah, so right now I run my ghostwriting cohort program, and basically it runs you A through Z, like how to become a ghostwriter. And like it's framed that way, but ultimately it's showing you how to monetize social media. I'm giving you the foundations, although there are some like good amount of stuff that's specific to ghostwriting. It's all applicable to different business models, but yeah. So like the program, my main thing is like, okay, build an audience, and then build it around like something where you have interest in, and then you can monetize that. So the first month of the cohort, we're learning, okay, here's how we grow on social media, and we're applying all, like, here's how you write threads, here's your write tweets, here's how you structure your profile, here's how you build your brand, all that stuff, blah blah blah. And then that's the first month, because you have to know how to build an audience if you want to do it for other people, or if you want to monetize like a skill or something. Like, just having that audience is huge. And then the second month, we go into the business side of social media. Okay, here's how you sell on a sales call, here's how you structure your operating system, here's how you do marketing, copywriting, all this stuff. And I also have guest features from copywriters, designers, marketers, salesmen, all that stuff. So they do guest lectures, but basically just teaching all like the business fundamentals. And then third, fourth, fifth, sixth month, it's all about execution. So I'm not going to throw in all this extra shit where it's like, oh, do this. It's like, no, just do the fundamentals and repeat it on a consistent basis, and you're going to see results. So we're having like the live calls and giving feedback and all that stuff. But yeah, it's like all comes down to building an audience and building a brand, because you think about, okay, if you spend 2 years, 3 years even, and you build an audience of 100,000 followers, and you have a product or a service, for the sake of simplicity, for $1,000, you only need to sell 100 people out of 100,000 people that follow you. You only need to sell 100 people in 1 month to make $100,000 in 1 month. It's crazy. You think about that scale. What if you have an audience of 200,000, 500,000, a million? It's ludicrous. And that's not even including upsells, downsells, whatever, cross sells, whatever kind of sells you want to do. So when you think about that, like how scalable that is, and how much money you can make just from growing an audience, and if you learn a skill and you learn the basics of business, like, it's just mind-boggling what you can do and how much your life can change. And it's honestly, it's not complicated, but it does take consistency, it does take work, but it's fucking worth it, man. Like, if you got some kind of drive, like, it's 100% achievable. You guys got to know, okay, what are the right actions I gotta be consistent with, and do I know these are the right actions? And that's why I like hiring mentors, because it just takes the guesswork out. Do this, okay, do it consistently, make money, win.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was listening to one of so Daniel from Client Ascension, one of his videos, I think from the other day, and similar quote to yours. Like, this game is super simple. People like overestimate how simple the game is, but they underestimate how much hard work you have to put in, how much work you have to put in. Does it feel easy to you at all at this stage, or are you still like, is it hard? Where are you at currently with your journey?
I wouldn't say it's hard. I would say it can be grueling sometimes. Not grueling, but it can be overwhelming at times. Right. One thing I've screwed up on, not screwed up, but I'm learning, is I need to delegate a lot more, and I need to systemize, and I need to not do everything myself, and I need to focus on what I'm good at, which is writing and creating content. I'm not I can sell, um I can like market a decent amount, like I can create the funnels, landing page, VSL, all that stuff. But there are people who are way better than me that I need to pay and hire to do that for me. Even if that means like giving them profit shares and stuff. Like, that was one thing I was like, oh no, I don't want to give profit shares to people and all of that. But just realizing like, yeah, if someone wants like 7%, like 7 to 10% or 15% to help me do a thing at a way better, higher level, then yeah, I should do it because I'm gonna make way more money, and it's just gonna be a higher quality, like just sort of thing overall. And I'm not gonna waste time doing shit where I'm not. Like, I'm wondering, okay, I got to learn this new skill starting from zero. It's like no, it's like just like for example, I paid my friend Abdul, um, um, I won't give 25K. I'll just say 25K plus 7% um, profit share, and he's like automating like all the sales stuff, all the marketing stuff, blah blah blah, like emails, all that stuff. And it's like, okay, I don't gotta worry about that. All I gotta worry about is making content and doing what I enjoy and what I'm good at, and the other stuff's handled. And it's 100% worth it. And just learning, okay, you don't have to do everything yourself, because then you're just working multiple jobs. You left your job to work multiple jobs, like as the meme goes. So I don't know. It's just learning. There's different things to learn at each step of the game. Like 0 to 10K, a lot of it's just mindset shit and learning a skill, and then 10 to 50K is like, okay, operations, and okay, how do you get more clients and all that stuff, and then 100K plus is a lot of delegating, systemizing, um, all that stuff, and just repeating the fundamentals. So I wouldn't say it's challenging, but it's good. It's a good challenge. It forces you to level up in different areas, like your character and your skill set and ways of thinking and all of that. And that's why it's so important to get mentors along the way to help you with all of that. Because yeah, it does take a lot. It takes a caliber person to scale out to a certain number. Not that everyone wants to scale to like a mil a month or 500K a month or whatever. But yeah, it's challenging, but it's so rewarding. And like, what else are you gonna do? You gonna play fucking Xbox all day? Turn your life into a video game.
That's completely right, man. I think about this frequently. How the more I get into this and the more I understand and educate myself, the reality that this is just a game with levels, and your job is just to learn the rules of the level, and then you get the opportunity to then knock on the door of the next level. And if you've learned all the right shit, they'll give you the password to come in. But if you're not there, if you haven't figured out what you need to get to the next level, and you've mentioned the answer is mentors. It's learning from the people that are behind the door. That's where you get the passwords from. But that's the way I look at it. It's just simple. Like you can either play an Xbox, do whatever the fuck you want, or you could actually just learn the levels of this game, which is an infinite game. Like this is the best thing that I find, is that I know that you'll be in a similar situation. I'm sure you're thinking long term. We'll get to one of my questions, but I see this as the people who are 100 steps ahead of us, the people who are claiming, to have the Bugattis, the yachts, like those guys all have the exact same skills and abilities as most of us do. There really isn't like much of a secret, but what they've done is they've learned how to level up to each step. And we can do it. We can do it. Like there's nothing stopping us apart from, just actually the mindset. And I think shifting it from that, okay, I'm just going to get to here and then I'll be good, to just being like, no, fuck it. Like all you have to do is just learn the next set of rules. And you can do that. It's super easy. The answers are on YouTube.
100%. It's like, I think I have a tweet going out tomorrow or something, but it's like learning skills is like you just learn the cheat code and then you can generate money. And it's just, okay, I just hit this cheat code and I do this, and I get this result. And that's all like learning skills is. So you're learning these sequences of movements or patterns, and you are following them, and then you get this outcome, which is like flying cars or fucking infinite money.
The infinite money is the like I always say, money is an infinite resource. So just fucking get your share of infinity.
100%.
Right. Okay. So what are the most common mistakes you see early creators make?
I think a big one is they grow a following, but they don't learn the fundamentals of business and learn how to monetize it. So you'll see a lot of these big following accounts. They're like anon accounts spitting platitudes and all that, but they're broke as shit because they didn't they didn't learn any skills, so they like have nothing to really monetize their account with. Like, what are you going to sell? Affirmation guides? Like, who's going to buy it from you? You don't even know how to market it. So like one thing I think it's important is learning a skill, and then as you're growing your account is like show your competence in that skill. So for me, it was writing. So I studied books, I studied YouTube videos, courses, all that. And as I was learning it, I was applying what I was learning and I was teaching it on the timeline. And what that did was it attracted people that were interested in writing, and it proved my competence at something. And when I did go to sell a service around writing, it was like easy to get clients because I was just shown, okay, I know what I'm talking about. So I think a lot of people, they want to just give motivational quotes and all that stuff. And I think that's good to do that, but I think you need to bake in authority-based content as well and actually show, okay, I know what I'm doing when it comes to X, and that's going to make it way easier to monetize. So I think the key to growing a brand and not a following is to mix in 3 pillars. So like the growth content, that could be like your motivational content, your mindset stuff. And then there's authority-based content, which is showing your competence at something and giving actual advice or like helping people solve their problems. And then there's the personal content where it's talking about your story, your worldview, all of that stuff, which connects the reader with you or watcher, viewer, whatever you want to, whatever social media platform. And when you combine all 3, you have people that know, like, and trust you, and which ultimately means they're going to buy from you. So I think it's important to hit all 3 because there's so many people. I think the biggest one is personal content. Like, so many people are just spitting facts, but no one connects with you, and it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of boring. It's like if you're growing on social media, you should have people be able to recognize your content just from looking at the words or just seeing your content, even if there was no profile picture or anything to identify it. So yeah, just hitting those 3 pillars. I think that's the biggest thing a lot of people miss. That's why most people are broke.
It's funny because I think you're one of the. It's quite clear in your content across all platforms that you're very aware of like letting people understand who you are. And my next question is, do you think it's important to be controversial? And I guess that's a bit of a loaded question around some of like the areas that you do post your personal stuff on, but you do it in a way that is like sparks debate, like everything, like from the simple stuff from you just being like a pineapple on pizza whore who is frankly disgusting and should not really be allowed on the internet, to to going and like just casually lifting 3 plates like out of nowhere. Just, it's things that are like, oh wow, it's like a pattern interrupt. But I guess that's on purpose. Can you speak a little bit about like the controversiality aspect of this stuff?
Yeah, I think if you're doing anything interesting in life, you're going to be polarizing. And I think there's a difference between being polarizing just for the sake of being polarizing and just being an interesting person and voicing your opinions on stuff. So I think you can play into a little bit. I think Andrew Tate does that really well. But there's some people that just, I don't know, you can just tell they're just trying to get fucking engagement bait and all that stuff like all the time. And it's kind of like, okay, like, I don't know, I see through a lot of it. A lot of people don't with some people, but I think it's important that you voice your opinion on stuff, whether that's controversial or not. Like, if you have beliefs, like any beliefs is going to be controversial to somebody, but it's just like by a matter of like standing by your beliefs. I think that's important because it's showing that you stand for something. Because if you're just going with all the trends and all that and ChatGPT prompts or whatever, like these 5 ChatGPT prompts or whatever, it's like, okay, like, what are you doing? You're just like chasing what other people think is valuable. And if you're just chasing trends all the time or swaying your opinion back and forth, you're not really going to build a brand. You're just going to, I don't know, be like as soon as that trend goes away, you're irrelevant. So I think it's important you stand for something. But yeah, like, say what's on your mind. You like, I swear, I don't believe in like the woke politics stuff, and I have no problem saying that. And I think a lot of people don't like me for that, and I think a lot of people love me for that, and I think that's good because you don't want to appeal to everybody. So then you're boring, you know. If you're just trying to appeal to everybody, you're just like bland, you know. So I think that's why I like just shit posting all that stuff, because it's me, you know. It's what I enjoy, and it's also attracting the type of people I want to work with or I want to follow me. Because I mean, imagine like if you're this funny motherfucker that swears all the time and all that stuff, but you have to be all prim and proper all the time because you're scared. Oh no, what if they find out and stuff like this? Like, screw that. It's no fun. So I think it's just better to be kind of you and lean into the aspects of you. You know, like I joke around about being a chat. Like my name's Giga Chad right now in this chat. Like I like joking around and stuff like that, leaning into stupid jokes like that. I think it's fun. So definitely attracts and repels people, and I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, man, like fully agree. I mean, I can again relate to this because not to keep on going on about these dentist stories, but like genuinely that was the biggest feeling I had was when someone came into the room, I had to like put on this character. I had to put on this like professional character. I had like a shirt on, had scrubs, whatever. And for however long, 20 minutes, half an hour, hour and a half, like I had to like hold in my like core personality, which was someone who loves saying the F word, is probably pretty loose with the general stuff that comes out of their mouth, is happy to offend people, tell their bosses to fuck off. And there was like there was a complete disconnect between what like that was and my reality. So I can very much relate to that. So I love trying to keep things nice and lighthearted. It's gotten me in trouble though in jobs because people don't think I'm being serious. And then I'm more serious than anyone in this fucking room. I just don't make a big deal out of it. And I think life is too short to be taking things too serious all the time. I think that's why I obviously resonate heavily with your style. So like big fan. Right, question for you, tactical, practical. For the people that might be watching this who go and do some researching, see you on Instagram, see your just check you out, they might get the inspiration to want to potentially try and get on this journey themselves. So for someone starting completely from scratch, and I guess the way to position this is if you had to start from scratch tomorrow, what would your 3 months look like? Knowing what you know now, what would you practically say to someone who would start tomorrow?
Yeah, I would say pick a skill that you have interest in and that there's demand for. So some people might be thinking, oh, but I'm not good at anything. Bullshit. You're fucking good at something. So you can ask your friends or family, like, hey, what am I good at? Like, what comes to mind? Because that outside perspective can often be insightful because you're just in your own head. But yeah, I would find a skill that you're interested in, there's market demand for. And you can always learn a skill too. You could just YouTube or ask ChatGPT, like, what are some in-demand skills? And then you look at the ones that might be interesting. YouTube, like experts in that field, watch a bunch of free content, and then start posting on social media. Pick one platform and just stick to that. Whether you like video, you could do like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. If you like writing, then do Twitter. And then as you're learning that skill, document your journey. Don't pretend to be an expert, but like give actual advice on that skill. Look at what other creators are doing, and kind of don't copy their content, but get inspiration. Say, oh, I like how he had a writing thread. I'm going to do a writing thread on like maybe Stephen King, or this guy did a thread on web design. I'm going to do how I would structure a website and why. Just get ideas and see what's working for other people. And yeah, start posting content consistently, at least one post a day, and just keep posting. Post motivational content if you want to, alongside the educational content. Post about your story, all that stuff. Just be super consistent. Connect with other creators, and share tips. Hop on calls. Connect, and basically just like continue to do that. And don't think about, oh, I need to make 10K a month within 3 months. Just like, okay, I'm in this for the long term. I'm in this for years, and develop the habit of creating content and think, how can I improve this, and continuously educate yourself and connect with more people, build a network and all that, learn, share strats with each other. And yeah, just basically go ham and just like constantly look up new information. If you don't want to pay, just go on YouTube, and there's a ton of free content that's amazing, that can get you from 0 to 10K followers, 0 to 10K a month, all that stuff. But yeah, I would highly suggest doing those few action items.
Awesome. Now taking it back a little bit to probably the minutiae of detail. So you mentioned one thing that has tripped me up again and again and again, on my efforts to create content, has been the consistency factor. And you mentioned it there, and that in my opinion is clearly like the differentiator between people that make it and don't. Consistency is a prerequisite to success. How do you, on a week to week or day to day basis, do you mind giving a bit of like granular detail into how you actually do your creation? Like, what times a day, how long do you spend? I'm going to ask you about like your tech stack as well. Give a bit of actual detail as to what a week and a day looks like for you.
Yeah, so I'm most productive in the mornings. I find I like going to. I started getting back into this routine, but I'll go to a coffee shop and I'll put on my Air Maxes. I'll put on Hans Zimmer or Brain FM, and I will just block out websites, like distracting websites, and I'll work on the work I need to get done. And scheduling is something I need to get better at. Like prioritizing or writing out to-do lists. Something I've struggled with always, but I'm getting better at it. But I'll try to think, okay, what's the one task that by doing it will make every other task easier? I got that from the book, The One Thing by Gary Neller. Amazing book. But what's the one thing that if I do it today, it's a win work-wise? And I'll focus on that. And then ideally I'll block out everything until that's done. I sometimes don't do that. But basically, yeah, just like go to the coffee shop, focus on that. I'll stay at a coffee shop till like 1 or 3 p.m. And then I'll go to the gym, work out, and then do whatever for the rest of the day, watch Netflix, be a lazy POS. But yeah, what was the question again? I don't know if I answered.
It was around like the like specifically to do with your creation, like content creation.
Oh yeah.
Like how do you structure that during a week? Like, do you batch stuff?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, so I like to batch stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of it because of context switching. So I like to be in one mode, and then I'm not wasting any mental energy like going back and forth. So yeah, I'll typically on weekends I'll write my content for the week. I will write videos or YouTube, not YouTube, IG reel scripts. I will write my tweets. I'll write my newsletter, usually every Wednesday. And then yeah, I like batching. Like if I'm doing a bunch of tasks, I'll just do the same task for hours. And I know having themed days is a thing. I need to get better at that as well. But yeah, I just like to batch work like hours. Like screw the Pomodoro.
Fuck, dude. Honestly, I think I tried that once, like when I was like 16 or some shit, and then I've seen it so many times. I'm like, who the fuck's having like a 5-minute break every half an hour? Honestly, like who is doing that? This is so.
So dumb.
But then I feel the other side where I've literally looked at my laptop for 6 hours straight, and my eyes are looking in 3 different directions, and I'm like, there's something not right about
this. You just need some nicotine.
Need some nicotine, yeah, exactly. Yeah, bro. So that's. Can you just cover that off with like ballpark, like because you're right now, you're prolific on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Like I know how fucking hard that shit is. Like I'm doing short form content as well. How much time would you say during a week is done on the creation and scheduling and editing altogether?
God damn. Depends what I'm doing and like what kind of content I'm making. Like if I'm shooting reels, it's gonna be like just 5 hours doing like a
Yeah.
bunch of reels and stuff. Even though I got teleprompter now, so it's way easier. Um, but yeah, if it's like writing threads, I'll usually be like an hour per thread. Writing tweets, like I usually post 4 tweets a day, I believe. That takes me, I don't know, it could take me like 10 to 15 minutes per 5 tweets or something. Um, yeah, I don't know. I probably spend like, God, 5 hours a week creating content, maybe less. But I'm not going as hard as I could be. I'm going to start ramping that up. And then scheduling's easier now. I hired a VA to do all that. So
Okay. And what is your technical process of getting stuff to the VA? Like, where are you storing all of your
yes,
content?
so I actually paid a good amount for a decent VA, or she's great. I love her. Because before I was just hiring like Philippines or like India for like really cheap, but it's just hard because they don't speak the same language oftentimes, or they're just like not that doesn't have that context and stuff with stuff. So yeah, I got a VA now that's Ukrainian and she speaks good English and all that. But basically, so I have my Twitter posts and I take the best ones and I'll turn them into Instagram posts. And then the Instagram post will go on to LinkedIn. So right now I'm creating the Instagram post and then she'll repurpose the Instagram post on LinkedIn, and then I'm also going to get her to take that Instagram post and post it on Twitter. That way, it's like I'm creating it once and posting it multiple times. But yeah, basically, I just have her like scheduling LinkedIn content. I schedule the Twitter and Instagram content myself. I use Hype Fury and Tweet Hunter to do. Sorry, my Siri, fuck off. Sorry, my Siri went on. But yeah, I use Tweet Hunter and Hype Fury schedule on Twitter, and then Instagram. I use native Instagram scheduler. Same with LinkedIn. But yeah, I can definitely be more streamlined, and I'm working on systems and stuff for that. But yeah, I'm pretty basic.
Basic bitch. Okay, right. Final question, because I want to be super respectful of your time. And this one is from one of the co-hosts who's going to be helping me out in the Twitter Spaces over the next couple of weeks, called Harry Wrights. So shout out to Harry for this. He's interested in knowing your process for documenting and blending his personal stories into his value content. His story is wicked.
Yeah. So I think the main thing is think about it in terms of transformation. So grab a pen and paper or write it on a Google sheet or something and think about, okay, what are all the big transformations you've done in your life? Or what are the big accomplishments you've achieved in your life? And you just write them all in like bullet point form. So for myself, I scaled my ghostwriting agency to 50K a month. I scaled my coaching business to 150K a month. I grew my audience to 400K total followers, blah, 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 blah. And to get to each of those points, there's obviously a transformation that happened because you weren't always at that point. So you want to think, okay, I used to be at this point, like point A, and now I'm at point Z. Okay, what are all the steps or what are all the lessons I learned in between there? And then just like document that and speak from the perspective of like I did X instead of saying here's how to do X. Like I did X, here's how to do it. Just add that kind of personal element to it, and then you contextualize it with your experience. Talking about transformations is like one of the best ways to grow on social media because it's relatable. Like maybe not the accomplishment, but the lessons you learned and the struggle you went through, that's relatable, and people connect with that. And by talking about your own experience, you've shown that you've done something, which makes you interesting. People like to follow interesting people. So you frame it from that perspective, and it's a really easy way to grow. But basically just kind of following, I was at pain point, now I have accomplishment, here's how I did it. And then you just step by step in each part of the post, you just walk them through how.
I mean, you just made it sound so simple.
That's what I do. That's what I did for all my clients. So it's like I got to kind of systemize it in my head a bit.
Awesome, man. Like, well, thank you so much for genuinely thank you so much for agreeing to spend some time with me, and also like doing this via video. Like I obviously clearly love doing that. So it's been an absolute fucking pleasure to get to work with you tonight or today. How can people connect with you, or is there a way in which they can, like, do you have a cohort coming up? Do you have a way in which they can connect with you that way?
Yes. So I'm most active on Twitter. You can hit me up at wrongs to right, WRITE. My DMs are a shit show. So I don't know, tag me on the timeline maybe if you want to get a hold of me. And then I'm also on Instagram at Dakota, YODAKOTA, and then LinkedIn, Dakota Robertson. But yeah, if you want to be a ghostwriter, social media ghostwriter, travel the world, make monies online, all that jazz, I do have a cohort. One starting July 1st, and another one's probably starting like a month or two down the line. But if you just click on my profile, there'll be a link to see where you can get more information on that. It's fucking dope, but if you don't want to join it, that's fine. I hate you. If you do want to join it, welcome. We can be best friends and live happily ever after. But yeah.
Oh, big man. Thank you so much, man. Well, you heard it from him. If you don't join his cohort, fuck you.
I'll kill your grandma. Yeah, fuck you, and I'll kill your grandma.
Thank you so much, man. And yeah, hopefully we're going to run this. I mean, I know that we're going to run this in person. That's like, you know,
Oh yeah.
I promise this with all of the people that I have guests right now. Like, we'll do this properly. We're going to have one of those fucking like Andrew Tate, goddamn TV show like rooms for no reason apart from just why not. And there's going to be fire. There's going to be fucking just girls in bikinis. It's going to be it's going to be sick, man. There's going to be a UFC ring in the middle for some reason.
Oh my god.
It's going to be going to go off. We're going to be sat in the middle of the UFC ring. Yeah, in an octagon. And yeah, anyway, dude, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Summit Club. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. And I would love if you could leave us a review. If you haven't connected with me, come and follow me on Twitter. That's where I'm documenting how I'm building the gym launch of the creator economy, CreatorLaunch.com. You either get to see me fail or learn how I do things the right way. So it's a win-win for you. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.